Hello everyone, welcome back to Today News K Wave channel. This night felt completely different from the start. There was something in the air that was hard to describe, as if everyone watching had sensed that something extraordinary was about to happen. When Jimin and Jungkook appeared at almost the same time, attention was immediately drawn to them. Not only because of their status as members of BTS, but also because of the dynamic that always emerges whenever the two are in the same frame. From the very first second, many began to notice small details that would normally be overlooked. The way they stood not too far apart, the way their gazes met several times, and even the warmer than usual facial expressions. It all seemed simple, but it was precisely that simplicity that made the atmosphere feel so lively. Nothing was overdone, no actions were contrived, but that was precisely what made many feel that this night held something special. Some moments happened so quickly, almost like flashes that only those paying close attention could catch. There were moments where a small smile appeared for no apparent reason, and there were also moments when the two seemed to share the same reaction to something around them. Things like this may seem trivial to some, but for fans, the small details are the most fascinating part. As time went on, the atmosphere grew more intense. Not in a dramatic or overly dramatic way, but rather a closeness that felt natural and unforced. Jimin and Jungkook seemed so comfortable around each other, as if there was no distance separating them. The interaction flowed naturally, without any effort to appear engaging. Meanwhile, fans began to discuss every moment they captured. Social media was immediately filled with diverse perspectives, analyses, and reactions. Some were surprised, others were carried away, and quite a few began to connect tonight's moment to previous interactions. It all seemed to become one ever-evolving story. What made things even more interesting was how everyone had different interpretations. Some saw it as a sign of strong friendship, while others felt there was a deeper meaning behind each gesture. These differing perspectives actually made the discussion more lively, as there was no single definitive answer that could explain everything. Tonight also showcased how the chemistry between the two was so strong without the need for over-the-top displays. In some situations, they seemed to understand each other without needing to say much. There was a natural synchronicity, something that usually only emerges when two people are accustomed to being on the same wavelength. Something like this can't be created or planned, but rather developed over time and long periods of togetherness. As time went on, more and more people realized that this moment wasn't just a casual interaction. There was a deeper emotional nuance, something that made people pause and really pay attention. Even for those who weren't initially following, tonight became a turning point. But beneath all that, there was still room for possibility. What appears on the surface doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. Moments in front of the camera are often only a small part of what actually happens. Even so, it's undeniable that what happened tonight left a strong impression. As the show slowly drew to a close, the atmosphere became increasingly difficult to shake off. Many wished this moment could last longer, or at least be repeated another time. But it was precisely because of its unexpected nature that this moment felt all the more precious. No one truly knows when something like this will happen again, and that's what made it so special. Ultimately, this night was one that will live long in the memory of many. Not because of anything grand or sensational, but because of the warmth and authenticity that radiated from the interaction. Jimin and Jungkook once again proved that their appeal lies not only in their looks or popularity, but also in the connection that felt real to their fans. And perhaps that's what keeps everyone coming back. Because amidst so much to see, the moments that feel genuine and raw always have a special appeal. Tonight delivered all of that, an experience not just seen but felt, and one that will remain etched in the memories of anyone who witnessed it. As the night progressed, the atmosphere grew warmer. Many expected moments like this to be fleeting, but in reality, the interaction continued in a subtle, almost imperceptible way. Jimin and Jungkook once again showed their natural side, seemingly unaffected by the cameras constantly following their every move. This is what made many feel that what happened tonight was truly sincere, not just a show. Some moments seemed fleeting, yet they were enough to leave a lasting impression. There were moments when the two seemed to share a light laugh, while others were seen paying attention to each other in a simple yet meaningful way. No words were clearly audible, but that was precisely the charm. Many things felt said without needing to be said directly. Fans, on the other hand, became increasingly active in discussing every detail they captured. Video clips began circulating, showing different perspectives of the same moment. From there, various interpretations began to emerge. Some saw it as a sign of strong friendship, while others felt the closeness had a deeper meaning. This difference in perspective actually made the discussion more lively and engaging to follow. What couldn't be ignored was how the two seemed to understand each other's rhythms. In some situations, they seemed to already know what the other was going to do, making the interaction feel fluid. This isn't something that's easy to explain, but it's palpable to anyone who pays close attention. This kind of chemistry is usually built over time and experience, not something that can be created overnight. Tonight also demonstrated how their presence can completely transform the atmosphere. The energy they brought was contagious, making those around them feel the same warmth. Even those who initially didn't pay much attention slowly began to focus on what was happening between them. This was proof that their attraction truly had a far-reaching influence. As time went on, more and more people realized that moments like this were rare. Not because the two weren't together often, but because not every encounter produced such a powerful atmosphere. There was something different tonight, something difficult to explain but very noticeable. Perhaps it was the perfect timing, perhaps it was the supportive mood, or perhaps it was a combination of small things that ultimately created a big moment. Behind all the attention, there's also a growing sense of curiosity. Many are starting to wonder if there will be a sequel to this moment, or if it will simply be a solitary memory. But it's precisely that uncertainty that makes it all the more exciting. No one truly knows what will happen next, and that makes people want to stay tuned for every development. One thing is for sure, this night has provided something different for fans. It's not just entertainment, but also a real emotional experience. Many felt closer, more connected, even if it was only through a screen. This is the power of an authentic, unconventional moment that can touch so many people at once. And when it's all finally over, what's left isn't just footage or photos, but also feelings that are hard to forget. A night that started out as ordinary has transformed into something special. A moment that will likely be talked about, analyzed, and remembered for a long time. This night wasn't just about what was seen, but also about what everyone who witnessed it felt. Thank you for watching until the end. Tonight's moments really had us all talking, especially the interaction between Jimin and Jungkook, which always manages to steal the show. Do you think this was just a coincidence? Or is there a deeper meaning behind everything that happened tonight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because every perspective is always interesting to discuss. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the discussion, and share it with your fellow armies to make the discussion even more exciting. Continue to support BTS and stay tuned for more updates on this channel. Make sure you subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any exciting moments. See you in the next video.